to each and every one of you mail pluses tuning in this afternoon. Thanks once again for joining me. I am here to spice up your Tuesday with today's Mail Plus Trivia Live. I'm Beric Livingston, and a warm welcome back to those I've seen here before, and a huge nice to meet you to those tuning in for the first time. Not too long now before we quiz our way through the next 10 minutes for the chance to win up to £1,000. But before we get started, we are very sorry for our mistake in yesterday's final question, and thank you to the eagle-eyed amongst you who noticed we accidentally included 2 correct answers where of course there's only meant to be 1. Please accept our apologies, and if you did select The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, then you'll notice we've added some winnings to your wallet as our way of making it up to you. A few rules to note before moving forward into today's game. I'll be asking you 10 general knowledge questions from some of your favourite categories. With 10 seconds to answer, your fate is in your hands, because if you answer all of these questions correctly, you will win a share of the prize pot. And if you get one wrong, you'll be eliminated from any of the cash, but you're welcome to carry on playing the game to see how many you would have got right, even if the money has slipped through your fingers on this particular occasion. Be aware, when you tap the answer you want, there's no changing your choice, and if you miss the first question, your answers won't count towards the prize. The afternoon can escape us, so perhaps setting a reminder on your phone might help you to get here on time, as we're here every weekday at 12:15 sharp. Okay then, hope you're all ready, because I certainly am. Let's get started with question 1. When you're weary, feeling small, are the opening words of which hit by Simon and Garfunkel? The Boxer, Bridge Over Troubled Water, or Homeward Bound? Art Garfunkel met his musical collaborator Paul Simon when they both appeared in a school production of Alice in Wonderland. Their band was originally called Tom and Jerry, and they later used the name for an album title as a homage to their roots. This is the first line of the song Bridge Over Troubled Water, which won the duo 5 Grammy Awards, and although Paul Simon was originally critical of his lyrics, saying they were too broad and basic, he later attributed the international success of the song to the simplicity of the lyrics. Less is so often more. Question 2. Which of these is not buried in St Paul's Cathedral? The Duke of Wellington, Lord Nelson, or Isaac Newton? The original St Paul's Cathedral succumbed to the Great Fire of London in 1666 and then was rebuilt in 1669. It was the tallest building in London for 250 years, and the architect, Christopher Wren, was the first person to be buried within it. Although Isaac Newton is not buried there, Wren is in good company, buried alongside Horatio Nelson, and watched over by Great Tom and Great Paul, the names of the 2 bells housed in the dome of the cathedral that sound when there's a royal death. And we've got Frank 5, Bernadette, Gavin, Daphne. Your chances of winning live on. There are 3,176 of you still in the game. Great start. Let's go straight on to question 3. What is a hammam otherwise known as? Turkish bath, a sauna, or a spa? The heightened temperatures we associate with these ablutionary options do have health benefits, causing the body to release endorphins and blood vessels to dilate, increasing circulation and muscular healing. One study even suggests they can lower the risk for both Alzheimer's and dementia. A hammam is also known as a Turkish bath. Turkish baths first reached London in 1860, and although they might seem relaxing, they traditionally also involve vigorous and painful muscle kneading and loud joint cracking. Ouch. Cracking on to question 4. Which World War I poet survived the war? Wilfred Owen, Siegfried Sassoon, or Rupert Brooke? Whilst it's likely that poetry has run through all wars, the visibility of poetry in World War I was particularly prominent due to the striking contrast of what the men expected and what greeted them when they reached the front lines. And it was Siegfried Sassoon, nicknamed Mad Jack for his lack of fear under fire, who survived World War I. During the war, Sassoon became a mentor to Wilfred Owen, and the two had many discussions whilst receiving treatment at Cradlockhart War Hospital. They both went on to expose the inconceivable horror of trench warfare through their poetry. We're almost at the halfway mark now, so a quick check-in to see how my male pluses are surviving. There's been a few eliminations, but we still have Steve 12, we've still got Papa John, we've got Frank 5, Bernadette, and 1,797 of you still in the game. Take another sip of tea, brace yourselves, we're heading on to question 5. Which of these countries has 5 waterfalls of over 2,500 feet in height? Sweden, Austria, or Norway? Potentially the most well-known waterfall, Niagara Falls, is not the highest, not even close. That record goes to Angel Falls in Venezuela, which has a 3,200-foot drop compared to Niagara's 167. Norway is home to 9 of the world's 20 highest waterfalls. And, well, actually, if we're getting technical, the highest is actually entirely underwater, known as the Denmark Strait Cataract, found in the Atlantic Ocean between Iceland and Greenland, with water that falls over 11,000 feet. The water falls due to the temperature differences in the two currents, and because heat rises, the colder, denser water falls to the bottom. 958, just 55% if you get that one right. Onwards to question 6. Which of these foodstuffs did not originate in Switzerland? Muesli, apple strudel, or Emmental? Amongst the game-changing inventions to have come out of Switzerland are Velcro, picked up instantly by NASA for their space travel expeditions, and aluminium foil, which gained the attention of a Mr. Theodor Tobler, who began using it for his very important Swiss invention, Toblerone. Apple strudel was not invented by the Swiss, though it originated in Hungary. Strudel takes its name from the German word for a whirlpool or vortex, and it's not to be confused with a similar-sounding German dish, the Streusel, which is characterized by a more crumbly topping. And 731 of you, not crumbling there, but staying in the game. Question 7. Who wrote the song It's All Over Now? Baddiel and Skinner, Bobby and Shirley Womack, or the Cranberries? It's All Over Now did actually reach number 1 in the charts, but not by the people who wrote it. Their version only got to number 94, and it was originally written by the wonderful songwriting team of Bobby and Shirley Womack. However, the Rolling Stones covered it, which gave them their first number 1 hit in July 1964. Baddiel, Skinner and the Lightning Seeds had their hit song 3 Lions, which broke records, topping the UK singles charts for the 4th time in 2018 during the last World Cup. 3 more questions to go, and the numbers are getting thinner on the ground. We have a few tough ones in the game, and a few left to test you. 519 of you, doing well. Brian 13, we've got William 25, we've got Bernadette, well done to you, holding out amongst today's possible victors. 3 to go, question 8. Which of these took the least time to build? The Empire State Building, the Eiffel Tower, or Sydney Opera House? One hugely famous building that was never technically finished is the Taj Mahal. A mausoleum for his wife, Emperor Shah Jahan apparently intended to build another Taj Mahal in black marble across the river from the one we see today, but a disagreement with his sons interrupted these plans. Of these 3, the Empire State Building took the least time to construct, and perhaps that's because it was part of what the papers at the time called the race into the sky, trying to outdo the Chrysler Building, which had just taken the crown as the world's tallest. But the Empire State Building was able to add a few floors onto its plans and aspire to its design and eclipse the Chrysler Building just 11 months later, and it took only 20 months from start to finish. That was a very, very difficult question there, a male plus mind bomb, as we have been known to term it. Just 27% of you getting that one right, 139 players still in the game. It's hotting up. On to the penultimate question. Question 9. When was the almost entirely in white players' dress code introduced at Wimbledon? 1963, 1973, or 1995? Now, for a city awash with pigeons, there are relatively few gameplay disturbances from them at Wimbledon. And if you're wondering why, you have Rufus to thank. Rufus is a specially trained Harris hawk who flies across the courts each morning before play, discouraging pigeons from roosting by making his predatory status known. The almost entirely in white rule was introduced in in 1995. When the dress code was written in the 1880s, sweat stains were considered so improper that it was decided that white should be worn to minimise their visibility, because sweat's more apparent on colourful clothing. This then became more and more stringent throughout the years, with 1963 seeing a predominantly white rule being passed, before the even stricter guidance in 1995. Ooh, and another really tough question there. 21% of you, that's 28 players getting it right. Well, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. The final question coming up, and we have Shirley, we've got Larkex, we've got Happy One, Robert 107. You are still in the game, 28. At this point, let's find out how it goes as we dive headfirst into question 10. Which of these seas is the largest by area? Mediterranean, the Bering, or the Caribbean? It's said that more is known about our solar system than what's in the seas here on Earth. Take the mystery of the bloop, for example, which is the name given to the loudest underwater sound ever recorded, which some scientists attribute to an unobserved deep-sea creature that's so enormous it's estimated to be about 5 times the size of the largest known living creature of all time, the blue whale. The Caribbean Sea is the largest by area. It's the second largest in the world after the South China Sea. The islands in the Caribbean are named the West Indies because when Christopher Columbus landed here, he believed he'd struck land in India, but realizing his mistake, added the prefix West to it. And once again, for 3 questions in a row, we've had a really tough one there. 7 of you getting that one right. 7 winners today. Just a quarter of you selecting the right answer. Congratulations to you. The combination to successfully unlocking your cash reward. Well done. That did not come easy. And well done to everyone who did get eliminated but decided to play along. I do hope you had fun. Huge congratulations to Larkex, to Ernst Galbins, to Alex90, Ricardo 5, Elsa 3, Horace 0, and Sihilian there. And all of you did fantastically. If you're leaving without any winnings, as you're hopefully aware by now, you're always welcome to try again. Who knows what topics will be included next time. So do tune in and see what the next set of 10 might hold for you. You might breeze through them all with no trouble at all. Got any friends or family who are keen quizzers? Introduce them to the game. An element of competition to push you that little bit further. I hope we've brightened your afternoon, and thank you again for playing along with us today. We will see you at the same time tomorrow, where there'll be another chance to win £1,000 on MailPlus Trivia Live. Enjoy the rest of the day. Goodbye for now.